This is Face to Face on Citi TV. My name is Umaru Sandama. My guest is Hassan Tampuli. He's the NPA boss. Why do you want to be a member of parliament?
Why do I want to be a member of parliament? I think that you know the story. How I emerged as the parliamentary candidate for the NPP in Gushegu. So there were two candidates, aspiring candidates, the incumbent member of parliament and the constituency organizer. So they were the ones who had shown interest. Now, don't forget, in 2015, I had also shown interest in contesting for the seat. The incumbent member of parliament, who is my uncle, also showed interest. And together it was agreed that, look, allow the space for your uncle. You can't go into a race with your uncle, so I withdrew. And I supported him fully. Actually, in 2016, I launched the campaign in Gushegu. I started the tour in Gushegu and then started the first rally for the 2016 election in Gushegu on behalf of my uncle. And so this time around, I kept telling him that I'm not interested if he continues to be in the race. And so it just happened that there was an issue of whether or not he should go unopposed or we should have primaries. So there were two schools of thought. Naturally, he would have wanted to go unopposed. The party took a decision that no, they should open up the contest. So subsequently, he withdrew from the race. And the party felt that by reason of his withdrawal, there probably would be a situation where there will be some cantankerous situation between his supporters and the supporters of the constituency organizer, who would have been the only aspirant.
Competitor left.
So there was need for the party to do some, horse trading to get a compromise candidate, and then the lot fell on me. So I'm more or less a reluctant candidate, but it's a space that I'm very familiar with. So my father comes from the constituency, my mother comes from the constituency. So I'm 100%, hailing from that constituency. And prior to my, emergence as a parliamentary candidate, I have fully supported the constituency in the little way that I can by supporting drill boreholes in one of the remotest parts of the constituency. Okay. I've done health centers.
I'll come back and ask you what you have done so far to deserve to be re-elected. And now, of course, I'll ask you what your relationship with the incumbent MP is, because I'm not sure we saw a letter. He voluntarily stepped down, but maybe there's some backstory. This is Face to Face on Citi TV. We'll be back to talk more on Gushegu. You're welcome back. Now, there are rumors that you actually, even though didn't directly contest Dr. Zibli Midi, you're the architect behind all the chaos, and that you sponsored the organizer to go against him, and when things went bad, you then emerged as the guy who had to take the flag for the party in the constituency. What do you say to these rumors?
I mean, I think it will be preposterous for people to take that position. I did not hide the fact that I preferred going to primaries than having the MP go unopposed. That much I did not. Of course, there's some amount of horse trading that was going on at the time. And it was more or less becoming a consensus agreement that the MP should be allowed to go unopposed. And all of us had agreed at the time. Now, things would have taken their natural course, but for the fact that we had all these pandemic action and then the National Executive Committee, National Council couldn't meet. I believe that if the meetings had taken place sometime in April or May, the decision would have been taken, but things keep, changing as we move along. And at the end of the day, the party decided that, look, we are better off having a contest where a candidate will emerge from the contest and everybody, including the losing candidates, would support the candidate. That was a position that some of us took. So beyond that, I'm not sure that I have done anything. So I supported the MP to the extent that I could. And I have also relationship with different candidates or aspirants across the country. So I have, in view of that relationship, supported, for instance, candidates in the northern region,
so what's your,
in Ashanti region, in the Greater Accra region, in the Volta region, in the Eastern region. I have supported different.
What's your relationship with Dr. Zibli Midi?
Dr. Petroleum is my mother's cousin, so he's my uncle.
I don't mean that kind of relationship. What's your current relationship? Do you talk?
Well, we haven't spoken in a while.
Has he been on your campaign since you started?
Well, I have received word that he's on his way. He's likely to join us.
Is that not
in the course of time.
problematic for you? Because this is not your constituency, mind you. It's an NDC seat.
It's not an NDC seat.
You've won it only twice in history, or is it
we won it, but we won it with 4,050 votes.
Okay.
That's never happened in the history of the constituency.
But the NDC isn't far away from there. They've been holding on to it since 92.
The NDC has been holding on to it since 1992. But every election is not the same as the previous election.
But the absence of the incumbent MP, who is your party member, on your campaign would definitely be a problem.
Well, look at it from different perspectives. The member of parliament won on the ticket of the MPP. Now, he did not contest as an independent candidate. He won on the ticket of the MPP. And that is the party that all of us belong to. All right. His father was the chairman of the party previously, before one other chairman came, and then the current chairman took over. And all of us belong to the same party. I believe very strongly that his roots are very deep in the party, and he would come on board to support the party. If not for the fact that he's an integral member of the party, he also owes me an obligation as a nephew who has supported him, when he was contesting. I think that he owes me that obligation to not only support me, but to guide me. Well, he has been there before, and so he has to guide me also to be able to...
Have you called him up and said, hey, Doc, we are going to a rally. You went to FAO. You did a huge float in your constituency. Did you invite him?
That, he's also a deputy minister. Mm-hmm. and so sometimes it tends to get very busy.
That's important. It's an election year. The president will understand.
What happens is that it has to be something that to be done according to his schedule.
Okay.
My filing was not something that was even planned. What happened was that I wanted the constituency executives to go and do the submission of the forms on my behalf, only to realize that the president himself had gone to submit his forms. Initially, it was planned that maybe the campaign manager would have done so on his behalf. Now, taking a cue from the president's action, everybody decided that, look, I have to do it on my own. So I sent notice of submitting the form to the constituency executives and other people around 10 p.m. the previous night. That was on Tuesday. And you saw what happened on Wednesday. Okay. So normally we would inform other parts of the constituency, which is about 4 zones. So we just informed the people in Gushegu, and the crowd that you saw were people mostly from Gushegu.
Let's go to December 7. For a voter from Patinga in your constituency who is going to vote, what 3 things should guide their thumb?
The 3 things that should guide their thumb is the candidate, as far as the parliamentary election is concerned, who has a vision for the constituency, who comes also with a track record, and who has a blueprint for the development of the constituency. We would also consider the fact that this is a person who has not just made a stake to be the parliamentary candidate or the member of parliament for the place, but he has worked as if he is the member of parliament for that constituency. As we speak today, the people of Gushegu can compare who has, within the last 3 months since my assumption as emergence as the parliamentary candidate, I have supplied not less than 400 electricity poles to various communities with cables in order to get them connected to the national grid. I have done that in different parts of the constituencies. For the Galway zone, I've done in Bau, Palago, Tinyao, Zulao, and then it's left with the Panache and then Saguli. Those 2 communities are outstanding. That is for the zone. For the Gushegu zone, I've done in Pumo, I've done in Tugbang, I've done in Soro, Toti, Ishelan Yili Extension, Kuna Yili Extension, Zolezoro, and then Sala is just about to be connected. As yesterday, I sent them a transformer. And then the people of Dribula and Pala, have also received their transformers that will also get them to the national grid. The people of Bilsanga and Palgo have also received one transformer that will also connect them to the national grid. I have sent poles today as we speak. Poles have been dropped in Nabalaba, Tindong, Lunlua, Nasumbung, and Bambuli. Okay. Those are in the Konkomba areas. And in the Patana area, yesterday they dropped poles in Kutong, Samang, and then Baba. Now, these are things that you should look out for.
And they should remember them.
Do you get it?
They should remember them when they go to
communities that are also outstanding include Pulo, Nalwao, Boakamo Nayele, Boao, Boya, Sampimo, Sagule, Tendang, Panlanyele, Nasandi, Kupang, Fintole, Vinle, Wau, and Gambeldule.
That's a lot.
These are a lot of communities that should be looking out to get power within the next 6 months.
Okay.
Now, some will be connected to the national grid before the elections. And they should also look out for the candidate who cares about their road network. Now, over 330 kilometer roads in the constituency. About 55 kilometers have been unengineered at all. Some have been partly engineered, some have been engineered. Currently, as we speak, the Gushegu town roads are under construction at a very fast pace.
Okay. And you are behind this?
And where this is being done by the urban roads. Okay. But the contractor needs push and support.
And you are doing that.
What we have been doing that
I wish you all the best in the elections. But before you go, I think it's only fair for you to speak Dagbani. People of Patinga speak which language? Dagbani.
Yes, speak Dagbani.
I want you to speak Dagbani to them about this recurring violence. In January, one person was killed. This month, we've seen another trouble there just this past week. I want you to speak to them in 15 seconds or 30 seconds and tell them to stop.
So, salamu alaikum. Mpure de mabihirgu, mpure na yab gushina, kapure gushanum zanang banyene. Mpure patang nama, ne patang tingpan nama, tingpan kuala deng kubir nama ne. Kasuria, ne tingpan timanga, na won yukone. So do din de bene yalle kam ni yadoshi to bor mo na yunu ngo to chang tinda kun nan sabu ma in pille bismillah tinana alhamdulillah ma lalaka talambor nan na woyi kone ka ba kulan nan yunu ngo pibo ma ka soso na pong butu go twe ka to ku pille bismillah tinana na alhamdulillah din yasham daga nan ku pala ni na lihre gu sha'na ma northern region kalire ne zabli ci kuyan gina shepulo de gila titimbanne na wonde chakar nan lala kire ka za zan mabigo nan bangine musolo ne taba zannan ya guma kar chambe yanga tati mpure ka pai
to alhamdulillah. Thank you. That's Hassan Tampuli, Hassan Suleiman Tampuli, MPP parliamentary candidate Gushegu, CEO National Petroleum Authority.